Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. Tonight we're going to be focusing on the race car again. It's absolutely freezing outside, so let's get into it. Well, in the last one we talked about the engine plans, potentially. So we're going to make a start on getting rid of the K-Series mounts and probably tidying up just the engine bay side of things. Okay, we've got the goggles on, safety first. First of all, I've literally just used the slitting disc and just sliced through all of the easy to access bits. You can actually get these off just by drilling out the spot welds, but a lot of them are just so hard to access you do need to cut it off. So I've done a few of these, and the easiest thing is just rip as much of it as you can off and then get in with the spot weld drill bit. The damage that we've well, the rust, I think, is actually due to damage. I think it's actually had a bit of a knock at some point. See the front, there's just a few little bits what makes you wonder where it's had a bit of a knock. As I said, it was a bit of a weird place to get rust. But as I say, I think we're going to be chopping that out anyway. So the mounts are off, and this is probably a little bit worse than what I've got. Was a little hole is quite a big hole. It goes all the way around there. But luckily, that's where these things are going to come in. So these are from a Mark II Escort from Rally Design, I think they were from. I thought about making my own, but then by the time you have the inner sections bead rolled and things like that, you know, it was decent enough value just to buy these already ready to go. So what I'm planning on doing is just literally using little triangles. So obviously one will do this car, and then the other one will do the other car that I'm doing, the yellow car. So yeah, just a little triangle. It's going to take quite a bit of measuring. And then I'll chop it probably from this line, and on the works cars they join the tub about there. So yeah, you could argue that it's not going to give you a lot of benefit. Obviously in this instance I get rid of the rust, it looks a little bit better, and supposedly it'll give you more clearance as well for the wheel. So well, it will do. So yeah, there is some benefit. So progress so far is got up early this morning before work and just started looking at where I need to be cutting. I'm basically going to take this straight line from the inner leg and carry that straight line all the way down so that the tub then comes to here, this line there. So that'll leave you with all that space for engine mount, which I say all that space, it's obviously a lot more narrow than what it used to be all the way up here. So that might be a challenge, but you can get thin mounts. It's what most of the rally cars will use anyway, or race cars will use, like a competition type engine mount. You see the mark here, and what I think I'm actually going to do is, obviously the tub's going to come down here and meet this mark again. What I think I'm going to do is I'm going to cut that full section out, and then once the tub's in place, I'll then be able to profile a nice piece of plate that's going to weld across this straight bit here, and it just means that I get rid of all of the unwanted holes. For any competition car, all these holes just mean that you're going to get mud and dirt coming in your engine bay. So as you'll see, the camera fell over just right at the moment when this was about to fall out, so that's what we're left with. Now to tidy it up and do the other side. So with the inners all cut out, this is what we're left with. So you see we've got a straight edge right across the chassis rail, go straight up. Same kind of distance and size as the ones on the rally car. Measured it off this line, well, this hole either side, so both sides are exactly the same. There's the hole on that side there, that straight line up there, straight line again, chassis leg, and then let's see if we can do this. And then this is the piece trimmed down now. Fits something like that. Still needs a little bit of trimming, but as you can see, it pretty much fits. And then I've got the filler pieces, which will triangulate the other bit and make it look neat. So I'm struggling with one hand here, but I'll get some paintwork tidied off and get a few tacks on it, and then we'll talk a little bit more about it once it's in place. Other side's trimmed as well down there. Woohoo. These are the filler pieces, so obviously you can just lay it down on the piece of steel and get a nice neat line. So at least I know that the gap's going to be, well, fingers crossed, that'd be absolutely perfect. So before we get into the fun stuff, I'm just going to talk a little bit about equipment. So you've all seen an angle grinder, but at the minute I'm really excited because I've just got a second angle grinder, which I'm getting way too excited about. So that's my main one with a slitting disc, cutting disc, and then now I've got one with a grinding disc on. Look at that, 2 angle grinders. You know you're getting a professional when you've got 2 angle grinders. Bought a finger file when I did the sills on my brother's car. Absolutely class for tidying up bits before you weld it. So I've just done a little bit here, look. So I'm going to go all the way around with the finger file. You can change, you can manipulate it around so you can get into the nooks and crannies. So it's really good, and it's not aggressive like obviously the flat wheel. You can take too much material. The welder that I bought, so if you're keen on YouTube and watching all the different car channels, you've probably seen these machines everywhere you go. Artec have done a really good marketing job on selling these. This is not a paid promotion because, let's face it, I've only got 194 followers I think at the minute, so I don't think anyone's going to be sponsoring me, but I bought one just because I used one at a car show that had a stand and they showed you how to use it. This is the 181, so it's got the easy setup. So really easy. I've got it on the easy set function at the minute. So you put your wire diameter. I've actually got 0.8 in there at the minute, which I can't bother change it. I could do a 0.6, but I'm going to go for 0.8. And then all you basically do is select your working thickness, which is this one. So I'm going to start at 2, slightly heavier, but I'm just going to be spotting the like tacking it up at first. So I'm going to go slightly thicker, and it obviously sets your wire speed and your power for you. You can then go into manual mode and fine tune it as well, but I find that it's working pretty well at that. Bought a new helmet, and then just odds and sods, like various clamps and magnets and things like that, just to hopefully try and get things where you need it. So that's my basic setup. It's working pretty nicely. I'm not an expert at all, so before we get started I will say this may go terribly wrong, or You might think, oh, that's a bit crap, I could have done loads better. I'm sure you could. I'm just having a bash, really. I'm hoping it's not going to be a disaster, so we'll see. Okay, so we've got it in ground back. I've tacked it. It started off amazing. I think I had the settings too high. I blew a hole in the first tack, which was a great start, but it's only anything from here is an improvement. So it's tacked in position. A few little bits there, but you see I've still got quite a few. The gap's not the best, but now it's tacked up. What I'm going to do is just use. Sorry, I forgot to mention I bought some other new tools. Really, just a cheap set from Machine Mart, just like a hammer and dolly kit. So I've never had one of those. So I'm just going to try and close some of those gaps in, and then I'll go full send. Yeah, so the next update might be something quite hilarious where I'm gonna have to scrap the car because I've made such a mess of it. So it went all right in bits. Certain bits were a bit of a pain just due to it being thin, or bits where seam sealer popped out, but generally it was all right. I'm showing it before I've cleaned it up. So I'm gonna rub over it with a wire wheel on an angle grinder, and then a few little areas I might just put a bit more in just to tidy it up a little bit. But generally it was all right. Could have been better, could have been worse. But I guess that's what I'm wanting to see, just decent penetration behind the metal. So now what I can do here, I've obviously just trimmed it as much as I could from behind, but now what I'll do is I'll grind it back roughly to where the weld is, because that obviously shows where it joins the ZR side of things, and I can trim all this excess off. And then what I might do is, well, I will do it, I'll run a bead of weld all around the inside as well, just to kind of cap it off. You see the excess there that I'm left with, that'll obviously go. So I've tidied up as much of it as I can, pretty happy with most of it. I've just layered another bit of weld across the top of that, because that was the really tricky bit that was blowing through. So I've actually ground it back, layered some more over, so I'm actually going to grind that back just so it looks a bit tidy, but it's very strong. That bit's all right. This bit here, again, I ground that back and just put a bit more across the top, just because it was a bit, that's where the seam seal started to come out, whereas this bit here was nice. This bit up here could be neater, could be a lot worse, I guess. Little bits, so I'll fill those in, and I've put the end panel in. So I'm going to try and pick up this bit here. You see there's a big gap, so what I'm going to do is I've tacked it in place, I'm going to get it really warm and then bash it back, and then that should hopefully give me a bit of a curve, just because this bit comes out a little bit. You see where the metal's nice, it seems to weld decent. So yeah, learning curve, but could be worse. Okay, so it's going pretty well. That side is all done. This side is all done as well. This one seemed to weld a little bit better. It's still probably scuffier in areas, but then certain bits was good. Yeah, as a whole, I'm not worried about it not being strong enough. It's perfectly strong. Yeah, just a few bits were a bit trickier, but yeah, it's I'm more than pleased for first attempt. The inner on this side, I've trimmed it all back and then kind of welded it on the inside, tacked it into the top bits. There's a bit that I've left there, but just to let any water drain rather than sitting in it. But yeah, it's all sealed. Obviously I need to tidy up all of the rest of the gunk, but I'll do that at a later stage. So yeah, pretty good job, I think. This side you'll see I've not trimmed yet, so it's quite long. So I'm just, as you can see with the marker, I'm just going as close as I dare up to the weld mark. Okay, so decent shift today. That's all the tubs kind of done for now. Certainly all the welding's done. There'll be bits of tidying up to do. I'll trim back on both sides. Yeah, there's much more welding to do, but for now that's enough for tonight. Pretty pleased with the progress though. Certainly not being a disaster. Yep, on to the next bits. So the blue car goes today. Last shots of the last one that we built. Certainly a good little car. I'm sure the new owner will enjoy it and he'll do well with it. Just a few last minute shots. Happy days. On to the next one. Right, so unfortunately I'm going to have to abandon the video at that. I think that's a decent amount of progress. I was hoping to get the rest of the welding done, all of the strengthening kit and stuff welded in, but unfortunately I've had to move it to the side because there's a little bit of chaos going on. I'm not going to go too much into that, but yeah, as you can see, the place is an absolute sty, just full of bits. So more updates to come, I promise. We'll leave it at that for this video. Hope you've enjoyed it. It was a learning experience for me. I'm quite pleased with how it kind of went. Could be better, could be worse, but I'm sure you'll agree it's better than a rusty hole. On a plus note, we've broken 200 subscribers, so YouTube are banging on the door wanting to give me loads of money, which is really good. Just joking. So yeah, feel free to give it a like and just keep doing as you're doing. Subscribe if you've not already. I'm hoping to have lots more videos for you going forward. Cheers everybody.